Hi, everybody. I hope I'm not boring you with all this stuff, but again, I'm telling my grandchildren about my childhood. So we stopped at 11 the other day, and now I'm at 11. We're going to not get heavily into this simply because everybody knows about child abuse. Mine isn't any different. Maybe it is, but I had 4 years with an aunt who literally was physically and mentally a terrible person. She was very abusive, um, used a lot of things to whip me with, did some ear damage. She was not a nice person. I remember what she did, but I forgave her a long time ago. She has an illness and she can't help it. So talking about it now is not a positive thing, but it did happen. And at 16, I finally just ran away in the middle of winter. Again, winter. I don't get winter. Um, and it was funny because I didn't know where I was going. And you know how you see in the movies they tie the sheets? I did. I saw movies tie the sheets together. Well, mine didn't hold and I fell to the ground and I was from the second floor. But I didn't hurt myself. And all I had on was my clothes and a warm coat and I had a little blanket. And I didn't know where I was going. I had no money. Um, and I went down a hill. I, I, I was in a forest, like, because my aunt and uncle lived kind of in the country. And I was kind of in a forest and I kind of got lost. And I saw a building way over there. And there was some fencing. And I got tired. It was late at night. And I saw a tree and I climbed up the tree and I fell asleep in it. And the next morning, below the tree was a nun. A nun. So I had wandered into a nunnery, or where the nuns are. I don't know what you call it. And they fed me, and they called the police. And the police came and got me, and I met my uncle for the first time. I had never met him. He was a captain of police in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at one point. And my other uncle, who was a lawyer, I had never met him. Never met either one of them because they were my father's brothers. And I had never met my father. I never met my father until in my I was 16 when I met my father because my father came to pick me up. So my aunt and uncle came, they called him, and I never spoke. I never. This is the thing about abused children. They'll never tell you. They'll never speak up because they know if they do and they go back to that atmosphere, it's going to be 10 times worse. So it's better to just keep your mouth shut and not tell anybody anything. And then maybe it won't be so bad. So I kept my mouth shut and I didn't say a word. I wouldn't speak to anyone. I wouldn't speak to either one uncle. Um, and they were talking, but I wasn't speaking. I wouldn't speak. So my aunt and uncle came, and we were all in the office, and I remember, and he goes, "So if I take you and give you back to your aunt and uncle, what are you going to do?" And first time I spoke in hours, and I said, "I'm going to run away again. I'm not staying there. I will run away every chance I get. I'm not staying there." That was his decision made. He told them that no, he was not going to return me. And he called my father, who I didn't know, to come pick me up. And my father was in California. So he had to drive all the way to come pick me up. And there's a lot of in betweens there and stuff, but we did not have a great relationship when I was that age. I was with I had my last high school year, graduated in California, and one night after I had just graduated, like the day before, my dad came home drunk and molested me, and I ran away the next morning to San Francisco. So I had been going to San Francisco. It was a 10 cent or a quarter cent bus ride to San Francisco, and I would go every weekend and I would make friends. And I had made this female friend, supposedly, who worked at a shoe store off Mark Street, and she and I'd become buddies, and she knew I was having severe problems with my father. And so she said, "Well, if you run away, if you leave, come to me and I'll help you." So Richiko, who is my stepmother, and I met her for the first time when I was 11, and that's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different story. That was a nightmare. She was wonderful, but my dad was a nightmare. That was the first time I met him. He was a terrible man. Uh, anyway, I so I'm naive, and so when I ran away, got on my. I had a couple of dollars, a quarter for the bus. I got on the bus. I packed what few clothes I had because I figured I'd find a job. And in 1965, you can find a job. So I ran away to San Francisco. Was on the streets. Went to see her. She took me in. Took me to what I would call like a boarding house. It was an apartment house, but each room belonged to a woman. Of course, I didn't know anything about brothels, and that's the nice word for it. Okay. And the madame was on the upper floor. Didn't know that then. Found that out pretty soon. So they said, "We'll feed you and we will help you. You have a free room. And when you get paid," because I got a job right away on Union Square at Macy's. And they said, "When you pay us back with your first check, no problem." So the day before my first check, we got paid every 2 weeks. That night, they had a party of a bunch of Army guys. Because you remember the Vietnam War, and a lot of military were on the streets. And I was told that no, they weren't waiting for the rent, and the only way to pay them back was to take this soldier upstairs. Well, I was a virgin. I had no idea what they were talking about. I kind of did. I mean, I'm not stupid, but I'm like, well, geez, I don't even know what to do. So this is how they get young girls, okay? So I got up there. Well, Richiko, I had Richiko's phone number all along. I could have called her. She would have taken me in, but I didn't want help from the family. So I got up to the room, and this guy goes in the bathroom, and I take the only chair that's in the room and put it up against the bathroom doorknob, old-time doorknobs, so he can't get out. And we had fire escapes then. In San Francisco, you have the old-time iron fire escapes. And I took the fire escape down. I grabbed my purse, got on the fire escape, took it down, well, wrote it down. I was like on the third floor. And ran to the payphone. Ran to the payphone and called Michiko. She immediately came and got me. And she got all my clothes, and she really went off on them. And Richiko then supported me. I mean, I got my paycheck, and she let me stay with her till I got my own apartment because I worked off Union Square at Macy's. And I got an apartment like 3 blocks away on Taylor Street. It was $90 a month, and my pay was $250. But Richiko let me stay with her till I got together. So that was that period. That was that runaway period. So we went from a year and a half to 17. So I'm now 17. And I will tell you, the next year I joined the Army. Out of the blue, what can I say? So that was that period. I'm bypassing a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you really, I'm not going to present on YouTube. It's just life. But again, I'm going to go back to the church and my mother in my crisis time and how they built my brain, how they built me. They made me who I am, a very strong person. So I hope I haven't bored you, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.